There's a chance that the holy grail of Pokemon cards may actually be in Australia, which is so exciting.
Aaron Lester Ellis is a top-tier Pokemon card collector with a very clear goal.
Now, I understand you're hatching a huge plot to broker a transaction for the most expensive Pokemon card in the world. Are you allowed to tell me anything about this?
Look, I can let you in on a couple of little things. One of my friends is thinking about buying it, and it's going to cost about 9.5 million Australian dollars. Some negotiations are taking place.
I am considering selling my one-of-one PSA 10 Pikachu Illustrator.
YouTuber Logan Paul bought the coveted card in 2022 for more than $8 million, setting a record for the most expensive Pokemon card ever.
So how much do you think your Pokemon cards are worth?
I'd say the collection at the moment is probably worth in and around 10 million.
10 million?
Yeah. We've got sort of over 1,000 first edition PSA 10 cards, which is the first series and the second series. We sort of more focused on quality over quantity, if you like.
Aaron has dedicated his life to collecting and investing in Pokemon cards. He can still remember the first one he held.
After school one day, I noticed there was a Pokemon card on someone's wet nature strip, face down, and I actually just picked it up and I was so excited. I run back to the car, I'm like, wow, look what I found.
Aaron was dedicated. When he was 18, he started to see their investment potential. This was around the time trading cards began to get graded.
Basically, you see a Pokemon card in a slab or in a sealed case, and at the top it's got all the information, what year it was printed, what Pokemon it is, and the all-important grade, where they give it a ranking out of 1 to 10 to determine the condition of the card. When they introduced the grading scale, that is what made them rare, because collectors only want things in the best condition, that Gem Mint 10 condition.
One of Aaron's earliest investments was a mint condition Charizard card from 1999.
I said to my mum, all I have to do is hang on to this card and I will be a millionaire.
Wow.
You know.
And what did you pay for it?
I paid $5,000 for it. At 350 grand, we're well on the way. And I reckon we'll be at the $1 million within sort of 5 to 10 years for sure.
The sale of Pokemon cards boomed during the pandemic. In 2021, eBay reported a 500% increase in sales of Pokemon cards.
How much money is sitting on this table?
Over $1 million.
Right here?
Yeah, I'd say around $1 million, yeah. See how this got a 9? Mint 9?
Yeah.
This is a Gem Mint 10. So they're both in extremely good condition.
Yeah.
But this card in a Mint 9 is worth about 50,000, and this one a 10, so 350,000. And you probably can't even tell with the naked eye the difference between the two. So getting...
So sorry. There is a $300,000 difference between these two ultimately indistinguishable cards.
Correct. Yeah. Because collectors want a Gem Mint 10.
Can you forgive me for thinking this is bonkers?
Oh, it is bonkers. It is bonkers.
And the cards are so lucrative, they're sought after by criminals. Over the last 6 months, more than a dozen collectibles stores in Melbourne have been subject to targeted attacks. Austin D'Souza is one of the victims. He provided this CCTV of the robbery.
They stole $130,000 worth, roughly, in Pokemon and other products. They were specifically after Pokemon. They already had come in, scouted it all out, knew exactly which cabinet had what.
Since the attack, he's had to beef up the shop's security systems.
We've installed an extra $20,000 to $30,000 worth of security equipment in the business. Now we have facial recognition cameras, vehicle registration checks, so we can backtrack and identify if someone's been in our store on a specific date.
And
most collectibles rely on two things, which is scarcity and nostalgia.
Owen Rask is a financial advisor and part-time Pokemon card collector. He bought a bunch of his friends' card collections over a decade ago.
I bought around $200 worth of cards from my mate, and ultimately that card collection is probably worth $4,000 or $5,000 now.
But he advises people to exercise caution with investments.
Moderation is probably the right piece of advice. There's a very high chance that Pokemon cards today are potentially in a bubble, but effectively, as long as the brand remains relevant throughout decades to come, there will be this kind of underpinning level of demand.
You know?
Do you think you will cash out?
Some days I think yes. Some days I think stuff it, let's just get out and be done with it now. Some days I think I'll donate it to charity. Some days I think I'm never going to sell it. Some days I think, God, how silly am I going to look if it's sat at that value for so long and I didn't sell it and then for some reason it dropped. All these things go through your head.
So why are you so conflicted, do you think?
It's wrapped up with promises that I made my parents, wrapped up with my own identity, wrapped up with my business, wrapped up with all sorts of things.
Yeah.
So it's a big question. And ultimately, if someone comes along and makes me a ridiculous offer and I'm at a point in my life where I sort of want to move on, then of course I'll consider it.